Guys, welcome back to my channel. So it's your girl Dominica once more again. Anyways, so guys, I've taken this conscious decision to do more of med school related videos. So today I'll be telling you guys things I wish I knew before I applied to Caribbean Medical School. Now, let me see. I've gotten lots of DMs. Actually, ever since I started this channel, if there's anything people had, they've DM'd me the most to ask me about is about what school do you attend? What can you tell us about Caribbean medical schools? This and that. So I decided I was going to do this video. It's actually long overdue. The first thing, actually, I'm going to be listing out points. Now, this is how, like I said, these are things I wish I knew. Okay, so I'm just basically trying to help you narrow down your options if you're looking to study in the Caribbean, especially in the Caribbean medical school. So yeah, first of all, you would have to. I wrote out this point so I don't miss out anything. First of all, the first thing is you have to narrow down which of these schools are within your budget, because Caribbean medical schools can be very expensive. Okay, so all the points I'll be listing out, there might be some schools that have all of this, but they're just way over your budget. So you have to narrow down your choices and be sure it's something you can afford. Okay, so that's the very, very first one. Now, when you've narrowed out, you've checked the tuition fees for the schools and you've seen the one you think you can afford, the next thing is you should be very conscious of agents. Okay, because this one, I'm a victim now. A lot of times people ask me what's the name of your school, and I don't go ahead to tell them because the school I started off with presently is not the school I'm going to be graduating from. Okay, which is another reason why I'm doing this video, because so many things have occurred that if I had known better it wouldn't have happened. So yeah, beware of agents. Now, the agents here in the Caribbean, sometimes they have like agents in different countries that help them source for students, you know and then sometimes these agents work hand in hand with the school. In my own case, my agent was like, oh, I'm going to go to school on scholarship, and now obviously I called the school to confirm. When I called the school, they're like, oh, whatever the agent tells you, just do it, which is what brings me to my next point: do your research very well, because sometimes even the school is not aware of what these agents are feeding you with. I got to the school and it ended up I wasn't on any form of scholarship whatsoever. So yeah, but I mean, that happened. So be careful with the agents. Now, do your research very well. Visit the school websites. Check. Personally, I would even advise the best thing to do is if you can find a student that attends that school, the school you want to go to. If you can find the students that's in that school, that will be the best, because they will be in better position to tell you, what exactly is going on in the school, blah blah blah. Because sometimes even the websites can be designed to look attractive. No, I'm not saying now the school will put false information on their website, but sometimes you can't even get all the information you need from the website, or there are just things that are there that are not really the way it is there. So you gotta be careful, and you have to ask questions. Try and get in touch with students who are in the school already. I don't know, Facebook, ask, maybe just try to talk to a student. That's actually the best advice I can give when it comes to making your research. Guys, I don't want this video to be too long, so I might be a little bit fast. So if you have any questions based on anything that I must have said or I will say, you can ask me, DM me on IG, or just put it in the comment section. Then the next thing after checking out, sourcing out for students, is accreditation. Now, this one is, if not the most important point here, guys, because this accreditation of a thing, sometimes you might not know, you might just jump right into the school. You have to do your research. And again, it depends on where you want to practice when you finish. Like, say for instance, you want to practice in the States. Now, there's a rule that says by 2023, if any of these Caribbean schools don't have their CAMHC accreditation, you guys won't be able to write the STEP exams. So imagine you're coming from the States and you want to go back and practice when you're done, or even if you just have interest in practicing the state, you need to be sure your school has this accreditation. Because some of these schools now, they probably don't have it now, but might have the CAMC before 2023. So if you're going to go to any school as well, you can as well ask. The students would know if the school is pursuing or trying to get their CAMC accreditation. If you want to practice, say maybe you don't have business with the state, maybe anywhere else, and you don't mind writing your own license exams, it might not be necessarily USMLE, or just make sure you check the accreditation very, very well. Like, when I mean very, I mean very, very well. Check and be sure that they have like the necessary accreditation that you need, because you really don't want to come and pay thousands of dollars and finish and you realize you can't do nothing with your certificate. I mean, not literally you can't do nothing, but it becomes a whole, a different ball game entirely. You have to get start writing your own accreditation exams to accredit yourself. So yeah, check that and be sure. Then the next one will be ready for crash course programs. Here in the Caribbean, the way medicine is done, guys, this is a thing, okay? This is like a very serious thing. You have to write exams like they call it block exams. You have block exams. You write exams like every 3 weeks or every 4 weeks. And it's not like the exams, they are just, anyhow exams. Like per semester, you might have like 3 exams. And it's not like they have like 10 points. No, sometimes it's 30, 30, 30. So, and the pass mark here in Caribbean is like 70 out of 100. That's a pass mark for most schools. Some schools do 60, some schools do 70. So imagine you fumbled in your first exam. That's like 30% that you've messed up with. You only have 70 to struggle with. So what am I trying to say? As soon as you resume, you don't have to, you can't resume and be like, oh, it's just first week, it's just second week. No, you have to resume ready. Here in the Caribbean, it's called crash course. Like back to back exams every 3 weeks, every 4 weeks, and then even the break, like maybe you finish one semester, you might just have like 2 weeks break, and then the next semester is coming. So just, man, this is 4 or 5 years, okay? So you have to come ready. Know that, have that at the back of your mind, because some people don't know it, and you think you have exams like maybe at the end of the semester, or you now have like 2 months break. No, that does not apply to most Caribbean schools. So let me see. Another thing is do your research well on the cost of living of whichever Caribbean country you'll be going to. Do your research very, very well, because say for instance you're coming from a different, now this would be more, I think this would be more useful to foreign students. Take for instance, I'm Nigerian. When I came to the Caribbean to study medicine, when I left my country, dollar was like 200 to 1 naira. So say you're paying 250 US every month for rent, and then the dollar goes up and from 200 to 400, you might end up having to pay double of your own currency. Their currency will not change for you, but say, okay, for instance, in naira, you're paying 50,000 naira when I first came, and then dollar goes up and you have to start paying 100,000 naira or double of it, or even more than every month. So what am I saying? Make sure you check what the cost of living is like and prepare yourself like somewhere in between. Don't just hear that, oh, the house rent, or maybe the school will tell you the house you're taking into, the house rent is $200, and you just budget that and you book a flight and leave your country. No, you have to be, prepare yourself for the worst. Because I've seen students who actually left, even though when this whole dollar thing happened, they just went back home because they just couldn't keep up with it. So I'm not saying you should think this is going to be the situation, but we're talking about 4 or 5 years of study here, so anything can happen. So just widen your budget a little bit, okay? Then the next one will be read about the country you're going to. These different Caribbean countries. If you're coming from, maybe say, for instance, my country, again, like I said, I'm using myself as an example here. We have maybe you're coming from a country where they suffer from malaria, for instance. When you come over here, they don't really have it. So you have to come prepared, because you don't know. Come with your medications. There are students who, when they resume, like imagine resuming med school after the first 2 weeks and you're falling sick, and they're telling you they can't really assess malaria drug for you. Something that is all over the place in your country. So come prepared, come with all these things. Check, read about the kind of sicknesses or diseases they have in these Caribbean countries, and take necessary vaccines if you have to. Sometimes the schools will make you do that, but for your own safety, come prepared. Read about the country you're going to. Read about it. Do your personal research. Then let me see. And yeah, lastly, expect lecturers from all over the world. So therefore, there's gonna be that language barrier problem. This is quite a big deal for some persons, because I know a lot of people, like people from all over the world, come to the Caribbean to study medicine, okay? So come prepared. You might have Indian doctors teaching you, Russians, different people. I personally struggle with this. I had a Russian lecturer once, and it wasn't funny, bruh. Like that course it wasn't supposed to be a very difficult course, but that language barrier was terrible at that point in time, because I had to adapt. So, and I've seen students, like maybe people from Spanish speaking countries, and they're barely trying to perfect their English, and you're in a place where that's one of the reasons why people actually come to the Caribbean to study, because they're like, oh, they teach in English, but you still need to be prepared, because sometimes there can be this accent barrier. Now, I feel like I've run through almost all the points I have here. So, like I said, I was just going to come here and give you guys fire points. I don't want this video to be super, super long, but the main thing, the most important thing here is the accreditation, okay? Make sure you know, or you at least done your research to an extent. And sometimes you can also go to these websites like ECFMG, CAMHIT. You can go to their website, see what schools they have listed that have this accreditation. Sometimes a school might have the accreditation and it's not necessarily on their website. You get, because maybe they've not updated it and all of that. So don't just take it and run. But if you see it on their website, then it's a good thing. Then at least you're sure, okay, yeah, this school actually has this accreditation. So yeah, so check their website, check the school's website, ask students, look for how to gather your information about any school you have to go to. Now, there's one more thing a lot of people ask me, like, what school do I advise? What school would I advise? Like, oh, I want to come to the Caribbean to study. What school would you advise me to go to? Personally, I will not pick out any school and be like, go to this school. But like I said, use those points that I've listed, then narrow down your options. Because if your budget is like within, say you want to go to a school where you're paying like $4,000 per semester, or 5,000 or 6,000 or 7, whatever your budget might be, there are schools that have all these things, but then their fees are probably like 50,000, 20, 30. So when you've narrowed down your budget, I don't know what everybody's budget is, so I can't really point out the school for you. But now amongst your budget, then you can use these points that I've mentioned to actually pick a school. Because if I'm to like just point out any school, it's not going to work like that. I don't really know, because I'm addressing this because I get this question a lot, like, what school would you advise? The first thing first is your budget, and you narrow it down, and then you can use this every other points that I've mentioned to select. Now, like I said, also depends on what you want for yourself, where you want to practice and all of that. So yeah, so I feel like I've touched everything. Things I think is very important for you to know if you're going to come to the Caribbean to study. So yeah, if you guys have any question, feel free to put it down in the comment section. Text me on IG. Sometimes I don't know why, but someone texted me recently regarding this. I didn't see this IG DM till like now, and the person texted like 2 months back. So I think it's better you actually leave it in the comment section under this video, because that way I'll be sure, I'll see it. I don't know why my IG does that, but yeah, put it in the comment section. If you want to come private in IG, just make sure you try to, or you can just tell me to check my IG DM. You understand? Hey, that's going to be better, because sometimes I don't see these questions on Instagram. So yeah, guys, subscribe to this channel. Okay, there'll be more and more medical content coming up. I notice I've not been doing a lot of medical related videos. So yes, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. Bye.